Her mind moves upon silence.
Just be my lady.
Must towers be burned, and men recall that face. Move most gently, if move we must, in this lonely place. She thinks,
Part woman, 3 parts child, that nobody loves. Her practice, thinker shuffle, picked up on the street, like a long-legged fly upon the stream. Her mind moves upon silence.
I upgrade to YouTube.
So I'm a Kiwi mellow, my friend sound.
Explore deeply other paradigms of which you can then compare and contrast, then you
okay, yeah, there's some stuff going on. It might be transitory, it might be reflationary, but you know, once all that stuff ends, the world does not look like it's in really great shape.
Just right there. Just right there.
Just start doing the torture dance, like.
Please end me.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Jeff Snyder and I are joined by a very special guest, Daniel Want, the Chief Investment Officer of Prerequisite Capital. That's what it says on his business card. But who is he really? We're going to find out on This Is Your Eurodollar Life. I came up with that seconds ago, Daniel. You'll have to forgive me. Welcome to the show, Daniel.
Hello. How are you doing?
Wonderful. Oh, by the way, if the connections aren't fabulous, ladies and gentlemen, it's because Daniel is up in Australia. That's right. We're recording. Jeff and I are live from Tasmania, one of the few places that's south of Australia. Well, Daniel, I've used up 2 of my 3 bad jokes in the first few minutes, so I'm going to be counting on you and Jeff to carry the rest of the show. And but let me get the ball rolling. I was listening to a podcast with, oh gosh.
You've read the report. It's not exactly a short report, and it stands upon, many other first principles reports that we've also produced. But basically, it's pricing a very structurally weak environment. And in fact, in that report, a big can of worms that I didn't go into is even what real yields are telling us. From the beginning of 2020, we've seen basically inflation expectations run higher, real yields collapse, right? And nominal yields sort of bounce to flat, since the beginning of 2020. Now, even that in its own right betrays, that this is essentially like a transitory dynamic. The growth pricing and the growth expectations and implications, even in real yields, actually almost completely offset the bounce in inflationary expectations. And so, but that's a broader discussion in its own right. It's sort of like everywhere we look, whether it's forward, like yield curves and all the different pricing structures that are within Eurodollar and trade
side mechanics, or the the potential parts of the equation that were impaired as well. So you have a problem where we still haven't.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, we will get to a point, I'm sure, where both Treasury, like the Eurodollar Treasury sort of complex, is actually sideways, right? But we're just not there yet. If anything, we're still years away from that point. They are still materially reflective of broader to make decisions that will have consequences, right? And we allocate savings here or there, or make this decision around business or life or career. They will still have consequence, but and as a result, we still need to somehow find common sense.
Inflation here, so I'm still on the fence of whether we got reflation number 4.
Then left. Company data showed that most employers became less eager over time, he said, and Mr. Bezos believed people were inherently lazy. What he would say is that our nature as humans is to expend as little energy as possible to get what we want or need.
He's just laying in bed, Nothing sexual here. If you look
voters to form a sort of coalition against Adams is sort of like leading in the polls. He said that harkened back to the days of the poll tax and literacy tests.
And Jim Crow, yeah, he's awesome. He's right. Like, he should just make him mayor. After he said that, you should make him mayor. Like, I've seen
Felix, did you also know that Adams used to be pretty close to Louis Farrakhan?
Sort of a more outsider-y conservatism. They'll do that thing where it's like, they say one thing where you're like, oh, that's completely true, and no one really covers it. And then it'll be like, the next thing is like, and Japanese guys just jump up and down when they dance.
And Japan is an LGBTQ nation.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that means. I mean,
and also, I'd like to go back to Judge Joe Brown's original statement that hip hop and rap music hasn't changed much in 30 years.
It's changed a lot. I mean, like,
that doesn't hold water.
Judge Brown is like, I think he's just like old.
Well, yeah, I mean, they used to be talking about having a house party, or what to do when a fine female steps into a wedding and you've been eating too much, and now it's just you're sort of mumbling about taking painkillers.
I got obsessed with Judge Brown because I think he's like in a Biden type thing where he is like sundowning, and I watched Kwame Brown. Have you seen his podcast?
Oh my god, the shit where he was going in on fucking what's his name on Gilbert Arenas and Matt Barnes.
Yeah.
That was like dude. He cut a promo on those guys, the hardest I've ever seen.
No, that guy goes awesome.
He's like, you guys keep having jokes about me in basketball. Then he goes, Matt Barnes, I got a joke about your motherfucking life, you punk.
Oh, he's awesome. Like, I hope he has his media career continues. He's very good at that. But Judge Joe Brown was on a recent episode, and like Kwame Brown starts it off, and he's talking. I'm gonna leave my wife and I'm gonna marry.
Yeah. He tried to in the middle of the war. He sent his fucking resignation to Marshall and said, "I'm in love with my Jeep driver." And I'm getting divorced, and I'm gonna resign. And he just said, "It's fucking World War II, Ike.
Can you get it together? Like, it's like not even gay. Like, sometimes, like, even if they're not gay, like Queenie, like Patton,
MacArthur,
like,
for God's sake,
MacArthur, Patton, all of his outfits that he designed."